Thank you for tuning in to the Walk in Truth Radio Network. Stay tuned for an encouraging word from Pastor, Teacher Dr. James Sutton. Let's see what Pastor Sutton has to say to us today.
Hello, this is Pastor Jay, and I want to come on just a few moments, maybe longer than a few moments, to just talk to you about some things that I'm observing. I reached the age and the point where when I look back at things and I see what's going on in this world, the violence, the hatred, the anxiety, the despair, the despondency, and that is a continuing theme in this world. And yet, more people have access to medicines, more people have access to so-called counselors, more people have access to all the things that are external, exercise, yoga, and this and that, and yet, everybody's still bent out of shape. Everybody's hung up. Everybody has a problem. Everybody's anxious. And now when I look at it, there's more wealth in the world than there's ever been. There's more millionaires in the United States than there's ever been. There's more African American minority millionaires than there's ever been. And it used to say that the problem was that the community didn't have enough money. Well, the money's there now and things are worse. Then they said, well, it was about education. Well, we have a lot more educated people than we ever had before. And things are still worse. We have people who are gurus, life coaches, sociologists, social workers, all kind of ways to receive different philosophies on what's wrong. And what I see is people are trying to get their validation in whatever they feel. They want to know and want people to accept whatever they say, whenever they say it. And if you tell them they are wrong, that it's not right, that it doesn't make any sense, then they fall apart. They fall apart because a lot of times sitting in these offices, sitting on these life coaches and these gurus, they only validate you. You become your own idol. And then when you let you down, who do you go to? When you're told that whatever you feel at any given moment is valid and is good, well, you don't say that when you hear someone going to do a mass shooting. I mean, why are your feelings so validated? Why? Because you don't do those things, but you carry a lot of hypocritical hate in your heart. The one thing you can't do is legislate love. What has been taken out of society? Family, prayer, relationships. It becomes more about getting the bag, the tag, the car, the house, and finding value in that. But if you think about it, if you become your own idol and idolize the things you obtain, they are all perishing. I mean, the guru didn't tell you that you're dying every day. That the thing that you're trying to hold on to and idolize is your flesh. And that each day it's deteriorating, it's going away. Even the car that you bought that made you so happy, the house that you got that is so large, don't you realize in the blink of an eye, in a decision, in a vote, the city can come and take that house? That of a blink of an eye and a vote, that you could lose your job? That within a 10-minute conversation, you could go from making 6 figures to nothing without any say-so. And because you invested so much in yourself and self-actualization and self-aggrandizement and self-focus and self, when the idol is destroyed, when the idol is put down, when the idol is challenged, when the idol doesn't have control over their life like they thought they did, because they value the things they have and they look at themselves as being so great because of that and being so smart because of education. Isn't it funny they're the ones that are falling apart. They're the ones who are being despondent because they can't imagine humbling themselves. They can't imagine them taking responsibility for their own self-awareness. Everything that's right, they get a pat on the back, and everything is wrong is somebody else's fault. They're not able to balance out the philosophies of the guru, who simply want to magnify self and the truth that they are a living soul and that they're going to be in eternity more and longer than they are here. And they have to think about it. Are they truly an island unto themselves, a monument unto themselves, an idol unto themselves? What happens when your idol lets you down? When someone comes and tells you, I understand how you feel, but your feelings are wrong. Telling everybody that they're great and they're fantastic and everything is going to go their way and they're going to get a lot of money and all they have to do is do the 5 steps and they'll get there. That's not how life works. Life has to be weighed out over time with thinking and understanding and patience, long-suffering, love. You can't legislate love. You can't make people love each other, but you sure can trick people into hating each other. You sure can play into the separatism, the racism, the economic class differentials, the social class differentials, the educational class differentials. Everybody who's educated is better than everybody else, and everybody else who's educated has the money is better than everybody who's educated. And everybody who is of a particular race and educated and have money is better than everybody else. But what is better? If you're so worried about so many things and you have all those things, then those things are useless. Can you let it go? That's the question. Can you be whole without all of your stuff? Can you love whether you're in the outhouse or the White House? Can you love whether you have millions or pennies? Can you love when somebody tells you what you're thinking does not make sense and it's only harming you, and you think more of yourself than you should? You are your own idol. But the only problem, you're not God. You're not omniscient. You're not omnipresent. You are very temporal and you are dying. And who wants to worship a dying idol? Who wants to worship and become their God something that is perishing? You might as well carve out a wooden thing from a tree and make it your idol and put it on a shelf and look at it every day. And with the rest of the tree, you cook your food. With the other part of the tree, you make toothpicks and pick your mouth when you eat. But if you think about it, even that idol that you put on the shelf and look at every day, look at yourself in the mirror, is perishing. Ask yourself, why am I so stressed out, but I have so much? Am I really concerned about what people perceive of me versus showing love and letting it stand for itself? Everybody's not going to love you. Everybody's not going to respect you. Everybody's not going to agree with you, and that should be okay with you. But you have to live life. There's a saying that my mother used to say, and this too shall pass. And you know what's passing every day? You. You're passing every day. You're changing every day. You're trying to hold on to yesterday, and yesterday is long gone. There's a future in front of you. But you want to be validated and considered valuable and precious because of your stuff. You want the cheap seats because you roll up in the best looking car. You got a few more dollars in your pocket. You spend time bragging on what you got, but you're ready to jump out a window. Because the day you lose your idol, your God, you're ready to harm yourself and everybody else. Because they didn't recognize your God. They did not bow at your feet. They did not worship you. They did not tell you that you're great and you're fantastic and you're awesome and all of that stuff. And there's a God who loves you. There's a God that will be honest with you. There's a God that will say, don't think more of yourself than you should. Consider others more significant than yourself. And that's a whole nother transition. And learn how to forgive. Learn how to move past the hurt that is true, the pain that you're going through that is validated. How do you move beyond it? And you can't move beyond it until you forgive. But see, the problem why you can't forgive and you won't forgive because you believe you are perfect. You're a God. You dispense grace. You dispense forgiveness. You dispense righteousness. And everybody else has to bow down to you because you got some stuff. Let me tell you something. The devil is a lie. What is it to gain all of the world and all the accolades of the world and be called a fool because your next breath, as you listen to me, your soul is going to be required of you and you can't do nothing about it. And when you leave up out of here and they put you in the box or take you to the crematorium and put you in the ground or put you in an urn, your soul got a date with God. And you actually believe you're going to take your idolatry to God and say how great you were and how much stuff you have. And that proves your worthiness to stand before a holy and eternal God. And God has said, there's no God besides him. There's no God with him. But you, your own God, and these gurus don't even want to tell you the truth. That's what they're making you. They're making you your own idol, and your idol is yourself, and you are perishing every day. More gun violence, more overdoses, more marriages broken up, and we got more smart people in the world. It's not about smart. It's about love, forgiveness, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, self-control. But if you're your own idol, you don't have to be under self-control. You don't have to be kind. All you have to do is stand from your lofty position and hand out verdicts on other people. Where everybody has to tell you you're great and nobody tells you the truth. Nobody tells you that, no, it's not good to go get a gun and shoot somebody. They don't tell you that it's not good to sit there and ignore a situation that is harmful to a person and pretend and soft shoe them away from it by telling them, oh, it's okay. No, it's not always okay. Quit lying to people. Some of their views are crazy. Some of their views are destructive. Some of their views will send them into greater despair because what they've been told is, again, they have the power within themselves to get out. Now, think about this. If you have the power, then why would you need help? Oh, you need help bringing it out of you. But what unforgiveness and no love in your heart, the superficial love that's based upon material things and the have and the have-nots, that's not real love. That's hypocrisy. That's washing the outside and looking good on the outside, but on the inside there's a hateful, black, revengeful heart. And you could tell people who have that kind of heart because guess what? They never like to be examined themselves. They never want to admit that they may be wrong. They never want to admit that they only are looking through their myopic view of what they see, and never want to admit that they don't know circumspectly what's really going on. They're not willing to give in on their own opinions because they are superior. They are better. They're their idol. They're their God. And they're the God, not of grace, not of mercy, but the God, the King with the golden scepter. That if you're not summoned by the King and accepted by the King, and the King doesn't extend the golden scepter, the only answer for you is off with your head. I want you to think about this. Too many people and too many gods. So many philosophies. So much materialism and selfishness. Disguised because they'll put on a good show. And you think they're so philanthropic, they're so awesome, and yet and still, once the show is over, they go back to being judgmental and hateful. They go back to criticizing everybody but themselves, because the God, their idol, themselves believe that they have fooled everybody else. And yet, let me tell you, those of us who are truly spiritual and discerning, you don't fool us. Because there's always a tale that you're performing today. The hypocrite, the actor, who pretends to love but actually hates, judges, and condemns. There is a way out. And I'll discuss that with you later. But think about what I said, and please send me a comment about what I said. Like, subscribe, share to the Walk of Truth Radio Network, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter page. You can look under Dr. James Sutton II. And you can find us anywhere. You just put in hashtag DRJCS2. And you will see everything that we've done. Are you your own idol? Ask yourself that question and get back with me. This is Pastor J. Peace.